Fats Cafe, Fats Facts, as we look around the MEAC Saturday. South Carolina State, tough game against Clemson. You see Hampton, a big winner over North Carolina A&T 44-7. Morgan State over Winston-Salem State 21-7. Norfolk State having a tough time with William and Mary. Bethune-Cookman getting the best of the Savannah State Tigers 34-9. And Florida A&M 51-24. Florida A&M actually led, I think, 51-0 in that thing. And Howard came back to score 24 points in the second half. Now, of course, coming up next week for South Carolina State, the Bulldogs hit the road. We head up to Winston-Salem to take on the Winston-Salem State Rams. Kickoff of that game is at 6 p.m. And, of course, the pregame show on the Bulldog Football Network will get underway around 5:15. And, Coach, you talk about getting up to Winston-Salem State, taking on Kermit Blunt. This is a gentleman who spent a lot of time in Orangeburg, and Winston-Salem State is a team that hadn't found its stride just yet, but we're not concerned about them. What do we do this week?
You're exactly right. We're not concerned about them. You know, we're excited about going up to play in Winston-Salem this coming Saturday, and we've got to make a big change, you know, in what we've done in the last week. So, you know, we got to get up and find us a win.
You know, when you play a game like Clemson, generally speaking, a football subdivision team, you're worried about getting beat up, being physically whipped, and just being able to get out on the field and get back to your best football the very next week, Coach. I did not feel that this game was as physical as we expected because, you know, we stood pretty well physically against the football team.
Well, yeah, their offensive line pushed our defensive line around a little bit because our defensive line guys are not very big. We like to have guys that can really run, and, you know, for that reason, Clemson's offensive line maybe, you know, pushes around a little bit, but, you know, in general, football today, everybody's got big guys and everybody's got fast guys. So you don't get a whole lot of injuries unless somebody, you know, gets turned the wrong way or something of that nature. If you stay in a good football position, most times you'll be okay.
Coach, mentally now, how do you recover from this? And do you take this as well? We played against Clemson now. It made us better. We move on.
Well, our kids probably bounce back quicker than our adults. Our coaches are the ones I'm going to probably have to go in and see if I can get, you know, going this morning. But, you know, our fans, those kind of people, most of the people who support you, you know, everybody's in the dumps this morning. Kids, you know, after a game, you know, on the way back on the bus, they probably start to be okay, and they'll be fine today.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of the Buddy Pough Show. We hope to see you next week up at Winston-Salem State when we take on the Rams. Kickoff Saturday at 6 o'clock, and next week right here on your station for the Buddy Pough Show.
Thank you for watching the Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of South Carolina State University Bulldog football. Our sponsors are Charleston County, State Farm Insurance, the County of Orangeburg, the South Carolina Education Lottery, Farm Bureau Insurance, Palmetto Health, USC Sports Medicine, the South Carolina Program for the Recruitment and Retention of Minority Teachers, the City of Orangeburg, Fats Cafe, and Wood-Ash Furnishings. Join us again next week for another edition of the Buddy Pough Show.
If you or a loved one has been hurt on the job, you may be entitled to workers' compensation benefits.